Hey everyone, I hope you can see and hear me okay. I'm trying to find where my stupid mouse went. I can't find the arrow. It's lost between the, there it is. You need to stop popping up for me. Just making sure that I'm coming through. It does look like I am. Okay, good. Hey everyone, happy Friday. I am so excited to be here with you today. We've got a few announcements that we're going to give at the top of the live stream, and then we will get into it. So I have the computer back here. It seems to be working okay, but I haven't done a test run, so we'll see if it holds up. I want to start off at the top of the hour today talking about the quilt that's hanging up behind me. I don't know if this went out on social media just yet, but this is my Mufasa. This is the lion quilt from Legit Kits. I modified it slightly. So I removed all of the green from the background and I replaced it with an ombre black with some stars in it. And then I went through his face and fur, and anywhere where there was green in the fur, I got rid of that too, and I just went with a same shade from a brown or yellow or a tan. And the reason why I'm really excited about this is because if you can see right here, I got a ribbon from the Virginia State Fair. Now here's where it was really fun. I never saw this ribbon hanging up. I didn't go to the state fair. I wasn't able to. I had too much going on with work, but I did have friends that went and they didn't see a ribbon on it. And Ian was scouring the internet and he didn't see a ribbon on it. And then when we picked it up, Ian went and picked our quilts up for us because I had to work that day. He brought it back and it had People's Choice. You guys, I won People's Choice for Mufasa, and that to me is more of a prized possession than first place or anything else. So I'm really excited about that. That is my most coveted ribbon to date. I'm up to 4. 2 of them from Virginia, 2 of them from Texas. So I see lots of people in the chat saying congratulations. Thank you. I saw Katie from Greenland was here. Nikolai looks like he's here as well. I see Gloria is here. Hello. Melody says congratulations, Becca. Thank you. I'm not going to read out everybody saying congratulations, but I do want you to know that I see all of those comments right there, and I appreciate every single one of those. So at the top of tonight, I've got a few announcements that I want to get to. I really got to fix my display so that I can have the mouse where I need it to be. There it is. At the top of tonight's live, we're going to do a few announcements. So the first announcement is, you guys take a look at that subscriber count down below this video. Just look at that. 50,000 subscribers. We hit that today. The community that we are building is real, it's big, it's amazing, and I love it. And I love each and every one of you for helping me make this milestone. So tonight we will be doing some giveaways live on the live stream to celebrate that 50,000 giveaway. And if you are watching on the replay, you'll want to make sure to tune in for special announcement. I think we're going to try and do a giveaway later later, like offline, so that those of you that watch and can't attend the live streams, you have a chance to win too. But that will be something that will be announced next week. So keep an eye on my website for all the details for that. A couple of other things. Speaking of community, one of the things that I am doing is partnering with Holly Quilt Shop out of Holly, Michigan. They are a new quilt shop just opened in June. The lady that owns the quilt shop, her name is Lonnie. She has reached out and asked if she could collaborate with me to use one of my videos for a session, for a teaching session. So she has got some classes happening in her shop using one of my videos. You pay, I think it's $30 for the class, and she provides some people to sew with, gives you all of the materials that you'll need for that project, and then pulls up my video and you guys are watching it while you're hanging out together. So if you are local to Holly and you are interested in attending a quilt class, somewhat led by me, but not really, not there, check out Holly Quilt Shop, and I'm sure Alicia or Mary can put the link down in the chat for you. Speaking of classes, I have officially launched my studio sessions. We have sold a handful of tickets. I'm really excited for each and every one of you that have already jumped in and bought your ticket, reserved your spot in the studio session in November. As a reminder, all of the details for that is under the studio sessions menu tab on my website over at sobecca.com. Next month, we will have a studio session. This is going to be a virtual class on Zoom that I will teach. It'll be using a free pattern from Lello Boutique. It's a pattern that I feel confidently is beginner friendly. I'm going to walk you through how to make that from start to finish, so that hopefully y'all will come with your fabric and you'll leave with a finished project. And if you're not able to make it, or you need to reference back to that video, if you bought a ticket, you will have access to a recorded version of that video, of that class, for 30 days after the class is over. Okay. Also, I want to let you know that the chat does move a little bit quick. We will be saving the giveaways until about 9:15 or so. Sorry, I got distracted by Connie. She says, you were just ticking off all the boxes tonight. Yes, I am. Steve wants to know, can we just watch? Yes, you can, but you have to buy the ticket for it because that is a benefit of the class that I am teaching. For the Zoom class, this is not a social Zoom, meaning I'm not like it is a traditional Zoom. Like a traditional class. I will be forefront, I will be spotlighted, everybody else will be on mute. I will walk you through the project. I will be recording that, and then any questions that you have, you'll just type them in the chat or do your little hand emoji, and then you'll come off mute when you're called on. So it's not like a social hour. This is a class. This is a workshop. So another thing that I want to mention is the chat does move a little bit fast, and sometimes I'm unable to get to the questions that are in the chat. I've got a couple of friends, well, family really, that are helping me stay on top of those comments. Alicia and Mary are both in the chat, and they do have a way to get those comments in front of me. If there's something that I need to answer, you would like my eyes put on, just make sure to tag one of them and they will copy and paste that and it'll come over to me on the back end. But if something happened and you even missed that, I don't want you to worry. You've still got a direct connection to me. So any questions that go unanswered in the chat, you'll just want to email info@sobecca.com. And over the course of the weekend, I do go through all those emails. So if there are any questions or comments in there, I'll make sure to take a look at them and get you a reply back. Last thing that I'm going to touch on before we dive into the project is this past week, I uploaded a video on Tuesday. It was my long arm video. So I walked you through how I quilt a quilt top start to finish, like from the point of I have the backing and the quilt top ready to go. And now it's all quilted and squared up. I go through every single step in my long arm process in that video. It is almost an hour long. So it is a lengthy sew, but I did try to keep it so that it would hopefully keep your interest. It might be one of those videos that you just reference back to. So if you have a long arm, you've been trying to figure out some tips and tricks, great video for you to check out. If you don't have a long arm and you are just curious what the process looked like, great video for you to check out. And if a long arm is a 4-letter word to you and you don't care about any of that stuff, but you just want to support me, great video to check out. So I see a lot of people in the chat are saying it was a great video. They enjoyed it. I'm awesome. Awesome. I'm so excited that you did. Okay. This week, or this month, I should say, is my October sew along. And so what I did is I grabbed a free pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm sorry, I don't have the link handy, but it is in the description box down below. So all you have to do is just click on that read more link and it'll bring that up. Hold on. I think I got a comment that I can't quite scroll up to. Mary or Alicia, I saw a comment in the chat, something about, I remember first seeing you chatting, something. I don't even know who saw it. I didn't get to see it all before it went. Could you just copy and paste that into the back end for me, please? Okay, so for the month of October, I took a sew along from Fat Quarter Shop. This is the Haunted Halloween Mystery Quilt Along. It is a free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. The link to it is in the description box down below, so you can pick that up. It is normally a 4-week sew along, but I broke it down so that it could be 5 weeks. Week 1, we broke it down into A and B. Last week we did A, which was the bat block. You can see that here. And this week we're going to do B, which are the star blocks. And so that's what I'm going to cut out. That's what I'm going to sign. I don't know why I said sign. That's what I am going to sew. That's the word. Sew together. Deb, thank you so much for that tip. She said, congratulations on 50K subscribers and your ribbon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that tip. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm ready to just get into it, but I do want to read this comment. Carol says, Becca, I remember first seeing your name chatting at the Yvette Renee. You have developed into such a personality that deserves all good things. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, a little sad that Yvette doesn't make videos as often as she used to. Maybe that'll change in the coming year or so, but she is doing great. She's doing great, and I fully support her in everything that she does. So whether YouTube is something that she wants to continue doing or not, she's got me behind her. All right, I'm going to start cutting my fabric. I have a mountain of fabric back here. This is all of my Halloween fabric, and it is not nearly as big as Ian's Halloween fabric, but it'll have to do. So I'm going to figure out which fabrics I want to use to make my stars. But before we do, I have to give a shout out to Be Inspired Tees, because I've seen several of you in the chat say you love my shirt. This is from Be Inspired Tees, and I want to tell you a little bit about this. So in April, when Mary, Ian, and I went to our lake getaway, I bought us each a quilt shirt in our favorite color, but it said, what happens at retreat stays at retreat. You've seen me wear that here on the channel. Lovely shirt, soft, comfortable. It's printed. The dyes don't, it's a great shirt. I absolutely love it. So I didn't reach out to her. She actually reached out to me because she saw me wearing it on social media and asked if she could send me a shirt for Halloween to wear during my sew along. And I said, sure. So she let me pick out one that she liked, and I picked out the pumpkin with the cute little quilt block as a nose. So I'm going to wash this and wear it every Friday night during our, I'm going to wash this and wear it every Friday night during our Halloween sew along. And this wraps up, by the way, on Halloween night. So there you go. Okay, now I've got to figure out what fabrics I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and go to, cross our fingers, but this is the 3-camera overview. I just want to make sure that it works. It should. Everything in the computer is all new. They've replaced the logic board, the hard disk, all of the things. And so hopefully everything should run and it should be smooth sailing. I'm going to just move that mouse out of the way because I don't need that anymore. Okay, put my armrest down. I can do all the things. There we go. Put this one down too. All right. So I'm going to have to make 5 stars. And I know that my background for that is going to be purple, because remember when I made this block, I said I wanted the background of this to be purple. I want the background of the quilt to be purple. So I'm using Kona Cotton Violet as my background, and I'm hoping I'll have enough and I won't have to go onto Etsy and order more. We'll see what happens. Marty, thank you so much for the $5 tip. I cannot talk tonight, you guys. What the heck is going on with me? So anyway, this is going to be my background, but I have a little bit of scrap from last week that I can use to cut before I cut into the yardage. And then I want to kind of play a little bit with some fun fussy cut pieces for the center of the stars. I don't know that I want to make them all the same fabric. I think I want to do some fun things, and I'm not sure what those are, but we'll figure them out as we go. I'm going to start off tonight by cutting my background fabric, and because this is a free pattern, I'm just going to call out what I'm cutting as we go, because this is something you can get if you just download it, so there's no reason to keep it secret. So I'm going to cut fabric B. Fabric B is 4 1.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangles. So first, I'm just measuring how wide this is. This is 3.5 inches. So I know that's not going to work, but I could get two 1.5 inches going this way. So I'm going to cut this at 4.5 inches here. I'm actually cut a little bit bigger so that I can get it squared up. I'll set this aside, turn it around, and I will trim this up here. There we go. And then that's 4.5 inches already. So all I need to do is cut off that 1/2 inch on this side. And then at the 1.5 inch mark. Now I've got 4 because there are 2 pieces of fabric for this all together. I'm going to grab my Taylor Seville number and letter pins. This is fabric B, so I'm just going to pop B right into this. And I will set that aside. I'm going to move on to fabric C. We need to cut 20 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles. So again, I know I can get 3 out of this, so I'm just going to cut this at 3 inches. 1.5 inch by 2.5 inch. So this is going to be 2 1.5 inch strips. And if I stack them up together, that will mean I have 4 layers of fabric, and I only need to do 5 cuts. 5 times 2.5 is 10, so this needs to be 10 inches long. And wouldn't you know it, it just is just like a 1/2 inch longer than 10. So that's going to be perfect. We're going to cut here. No, 5.5 times 2.5 is 12.5. 5 times 2 is 10. That's okay. We'll get the 4 cuts out of this, and then I will cut more out of the yardage. So that was 7.5 now. So that'll be 4. Now I'll go down to 5, and that'll be another 4. And then I'll go to 2.5. And that'll be 2 more sets of 4. That gives me 16. Now I just need to cut 2 more. Now here's the thing. The next cut on here is going to be 1.5 inch squares. So I'm going to cut off a 1.5 inch strip by width of fabric. I'm only going to cut 1 because I don't know how much I'll be able to get out of that, though I think I'm going to need 2 strips of this. We'll just see. Let's just cut 1 strip at a time so that we don't waste any of this fabric, because I don't have a lot of it and I need it to last for the whole project. Put this over here. I'm going to clean that up because that was a bit of a wobbly cut on the other side. Bum, 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 bum. All right. So for the first one, we're going to just cut a 5 inch square off of this because it's 2 layers of fabric, and then I can cut that in half, and then that'll give me the last 4 pieces that are 1.5 inch by 2.5 inch. There we go. All right. I'm going to stack all these up. Now I'm not going to be able to fit a pin through all of this, so I'm just going to put a C through the first couple, and I'll keep them stacked nicely on my table. I could put a wonder clip on there if I wanted to. Now I'm going to cut 20 1.5 inch squares. Okay. 7.5 is about the biggest I'm going to be able to get out of this, so we're going to go 7.5. Might have to cut a little bit more, but actually 7.5 I think is 5 times 1.5, isn't it? Because 4 times 1.5 is 6, so I might have everything I need from this one strip. I'm glad I didn't cut 2. That was 7.5. This is going to go to 6. 6 take away 1.5 is 4.5. 4.5 take away 1.5 is 3. And 3 minus 1.5 is 1.5. And there are 5 stacks of 4, which give me my 21.5 inch squares. And I'll just stack all those up. And this is fabric D. So I'm just going to put a D pin right through the first couple layers. June is here. Pat Strawhouse is here as well. Joan is here. And the chat has already disappeared, so I can't say hi to anybody else. All right, we have all of our background pieces cut. Now I'm going to move down to these 2 sections. I have 4 fabrics that I need to cut, but here's the thing. These 4 fabrics are representing 2 different star blocks. We have 3 that are made out of that orange and 2 that are made out of the green. And the star legs are all the same as the center. And I don't know if I want to do that. So what I'm thinking I want to do is, it would be really cool if I could do all of the star legs the same and then fussy cut 5 different center pieces of fabric. So I know the center piece is a 2.5 inch square, and then the pieces that I need for the star legs are 1.5 inch squares. So I think I might be able to do that. Here's what I would love to do. I have this bit of scrap left over from making some bowl cozies, and I think I might be able to get all of my 1.5 inch squares out of this. It looks like in total I'll need 40, so I'm going to try to get 40 1.5 inch squares out of this piece. And then that can be my star legs against the purple, and I can fussy cut pretty fabrics to go in the middle. Ooh, excuse me, I burped. I'm just going to give a little starch because I don't know if it was starched or not. Hello, M. Smith. I see you. Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Nice. All right. So I know I'm going to need more than 1 strip. This was a fat quarter, I think. Yeah, it was a fat quarter. I'm just going to go ahead and cut off 3 1.5 inch strips, actually 4, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need about 4. You know what? It's okay. We're going to cut 2 to start with. So I'm going to cut a 3 inch piece off of this length. I'm going to trim it up so that it's right at that 3 inches. Your singing doesn't match the commercial on TV. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mama. And I'll cut that off. Now I'm going to subcut that down to 1.5 inch. And I just need to make 40 squares all together. So I'm going to stack these on top of each other. And then I'll get a stack of 4 every time I take a cut. Oh, that's going to be nice. Yeah, 7.5. 8, 9. I'll be able, yeah, let me see. Might lose a couple because of the salvage, but we're going to try. I'm going to cut this at 10.5 inches. It's just a little bit beyond 10.5 inches, so I should be able to get that whole length. We'll see what happens. I need 40 altogether. So 10.5 minus 1.5 is 9. 9 minus 1.5 is 7.5. Minus 1.5 is 6. Minus 1.5 is 4.5. Minus 1.5 is 3. Minus 1.5 is 1.5. we go. So if these are stacks of 4, then I need 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means I need 3 more sets of 4. So I'm just going to cut one more 1.5 inch square off of this. See what I can get from that. And we're going to cut this at 10.5 inches again, and I'll just subcut the whole thing up and we'll see where we're at. If nothing else, they can make some leaders and enders. Becca, do you have a special place you display your ribbon winning quilts at your home, or do you need to send them to CEO to Leisha? No, I rotate them out at my house. So I have a couple of things in my sewing room that let me hang up quilts that I finished, and I just rotate them in and out. 10.5, 9, 7.5, 6, 4.5, 3, 1.5. There we go. All right, now this one I can see a bit of the selvage on, so I'm just going to set that aside because I don't think I'll need that. So there's 2, 4, bam, I'm at 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. I had 2 extra. I'll put those in my leaders and enders bin. And that means I have this little strip to play with later. So I'm going to put it back in my Halloween fabric. Now I've got my background cut, I've got my star legs cut, and as a reminder, we're using this purple as the background, we're using the orange as star legs, and I just want to cut out fun fabrics to be in the center. And I love this fabric, so I think for the stars, since I only need, what, 5? Yeah, I only need 5 2.5 inch squares. I'm going to make them all out of this. Isn't that cute? And unless maybe you think I should do a couple of skeletons. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Should I use just the pumpkins or the pumpkins and the skeletons? Do 1 for just the pumpkins or 2 for both of them? Angie said, question, can you slide your camera, your cutting mat to the left just a bit? I can't see what you're doing for the comments in front of it. Oh, you can turn off the comments. Of course, Alicia said skeletons. Pumpkins, skeletons, 1. Alicia said to use 2. Lots of people are saying 2. Oh, all of you are saying 2. Both. Okay, you know what? The jury has it. We're doing 2. I'm going to give this a little bit of a press. And I'm actually going to give it some starch because I don't know what the starch status is on that. And I don't feel like you can ever overstarch. True statement? True statement. Okay, oh, that still needs to be dried a bit. The text on the screen, if you hover your mouse over there's a CC button, you can turn off the closed captions, Alicia's saying. I think she wasn't talking about closed caption. I think she was talking about the live chat. She's probably watching on a TV. And on a TV, if you don't turn off the live chat, it scrolls on the right side of the screen and goes over top of the picture. You have to turn that off in order to fix that. Laura says, I'm a starcher of everything. Glad we are in good company. I'm not going to bother labeling those star legs because they're all the same. Now I'm just going to cut out 2.5 inch squares of the skeletons. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm going to try and fussy cut this. I'm going to grab a smaller ruler. It'll make it easier to fussy cut. It's behind Mufasa. I hide all my rulers back here. Whoop! There goes my, there we go. So I'm going to find a skeleton on here that I want to be the hero of my quilt. So once I find that, I'm going to try to get him right in the middle, which means if this is going to be 2.5 inches, then I need to make sure the center of his body is at 1.25. And that one will do right there. Oh, he's going to be so cute. The skeleton in party hats. So if you don't know what fussy cutting is, that's just intentionally cutting your fabric in such a way that you are trying to showcase a specific design element. And in this case, the design element that I'm showcasing is that skeleton that is in the middle. So I've got one. I'm going to cut a second one, and then I'll do 3 of the pumpkins because that's what I've got the fabric for. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get him right in the center. Mary, around 9:15 or so, we can start the giveaways. We'll give people a bit of time to get in here and participate. Now I'm going to cut 3 2.5 inch squares out of these pumpkins, and I want to make the pumpkins fun. I want to pick out the pumpkins that I want. So I think this first one down here could be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do this orange one down here. And I'll turn it around. Wait, 1. Oh no, I cut that at 2 inches. Never mind. And you know what else I didn't do? I didn't starch this piece. Mary says for the 50,000 giveaway in the live stream tonight, she's got a fat quarter bundle sitting, waiting, ready to be given away. So make sure you guys stick around. 9:15, we will start our giveaways and our drawings. That'll give everybody a chance to get here tonight. And if you have a quilter friend that might be interested in winning a fat quarter bundle, tell them to pop over. They can watch the live stream, and when the giveaways start, they get a chance to win. And if you've got a husband or somebody else in your home, they could log in, and then you could have 2 chances to win. All right, there we go. I'm going to do this again, guys. I also want to make sure that you guys are tracking the Alaskan cruise that I'm doing with Tiffany and Ian. Tickets are selling out really quick, so if that is something you are on the fence about, you should probably make a decision sooner rather than later. Okay, there's one. Now I'm going to find another pumpkin that I want to highlight. I really like that orange, that yellow or white one rather, but I'm afraid the white one won't show up as well, but I've got white there, so I'm going to try it. Nothing says I have to cut everything straight, right? Melody, I did get some hexies, yes. 1, 2.5. go. See, that pumpkin that was kind of tossed on the side is now straight up and down. And now I think I'm going to do one of these orange pumpkins. So let's see if I can find a nice tall orange pumpkin that I can get. I'm going to try and go with, maybe this one, because there's enough room around it that I think I'll be able to keep it. 1 1/4, 1 1/4. All right, now I'll turn this around and I'll trim it down to 2.5 by 2.5. All right, I'll put these in my leaders and enders bin. So now I've got my 3 2.5-inch pieces for my stars, and we're gonna start making the star blocks. Tamara is here. She says, Becca, congrats on 50K. Thank you. June says, congrats on your ribbon, Becca. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh goodness, we're starting to yawn early. It's too early for that. It's too early for that. Oh, Mary said she has got a teaser for what the Fat Quarter bundle is going to be that we're going to give away at the end of the evening. Shoop, shoop. And I can actually show you what it is because I have one on my shelf and it is one of my favorites. This will be the final giveaway we do tonight. It is a Fat Quarter bundle of berry and pine. It is a Christmas fabric. It is from Lala Boutique from Moda Fabrics. That is the Fat Quarter bundle. I don't know how many SKUs are in there. I'm not going to count. It's probably 30 or more. All right, need some water. Okay, we're gonna start by making some flying geese units. So I need my fabric C and all of these oranges, and we're just gonna do what we've always done before. We're gonna do the stitch and flip method to make our flying geese. Now, when I'm doing that, I could, if I wanted to, draw a line on the wrong side of each of these squares going from one corner to the other. That's probably the most accurate way to do that. But I don't want to do that tonight. I've got some diagonal seam tape right on my machine, and so I'm going to use that instead. So the way the diagonal seam tape works is it's a piece of washi tape that you can stick onto your machine. It has no sticky residue left behind, but it is washi tape, so you have to reposition it every so often, or replace it every so often. So hold on, my threads are all over the place here. I don't know what happened, but I am a threaded mess. Like, the threads are tangled up. There we go. There, that's better. Okay. So I have this diagonal seam tape right in front of my needle. When I put this in, I lay it a length on here so that the red line is immediately under the needle, and I test to make sure that it is under the needle by putting the needle down in through the tape, and then I just run a whole length right in front of it. And so what that'll allow me to do for stitch and flips is start the fabric by putting the point where that corner of that fabric is, where I would have drawn my straight line, immediately under the needle, and then putting the other point right here down in front and making sure that that point stays right on this red line. And then I'm just going to stitch while keeping that point that's closest to me on the red line. And I'll do that so that all of the purple pieces that I have here have one orange attached to one of the sides of the purple. I see somebody's asking to see the entire quilt of Mufasa. I'm sorry, but that's going to be really difficult to do. I'd have to take down my setup to do that. So what I would tell you to do instead is go check it out on Instagram. I have this quilt on Instagram. The picture's already there. And you could also ask nicely, and I'm sure Alicia would toss a couple pictures of it in the Facebook group, so you could pick it out on Facebook. But I'm sorry, I would have to climb up on a ladder to undo it, or undo the camera from the tripod, and that's just a lot of work, especially when I have it already available for you somewhere else. Yeah, the pattern is from Fat Quarter Shop. Icy Blue Halo says, I don't have Instagram. You don't have to have Instagram to look at my Instagram profile. You can just load it from a web page. You don't have to sign up. And the link for my Instagram profile is on my website. Hello, Anne. She says, good evening. I usually just watch, but tonight I decided to say hello. Hello. Alicia does have, how about a pic of that, of the project that you're working on? There. Does anyone know how to enable chat on my TV? I don't know, Lily, I'm sorry. But maybe somebody in the chat does. So I am making the stars, and the pieces that I am going to build out for this are to make this quilt. The link for this pattern is in the description box down below, and Alicia just put a link directly to the Mufasa quilt. It is on Instagram, but you don't have to sign up for Instagram to see that. You just click on the link and it'll show you the picture. Hey Tiff, how are you feeling? Katie's letting you know for the chat on the TV, if you go up to the menu bar at the right, yeah, you can read it. It's already gone on my screen. The longest part of this is going to be making these flying geese. Fabrics are stuck together. I can't get them apart. There we go. Are the cameras still working okay for everybody? It's the first chance I've had to put the computer through its paces. Susan has gifted out some Becca memberships. Thank you for doing that. Hey, Leanne, how are you? I have a bit of salvage on this one, and I had a couple of extra, remember? So I'm going to pull in the one that doesn't have that salvage line. I'm going to use that. Awesome. Fran says all of the cameras are nice and clear. Good, good, good. Even this one here. I don't have it zoomed in like I normally do. Just curious if this view is still good for you guys. It's a better picture quality, but it's not as zoomed in. Tamara says, your tech setup is always top notch. Thank you so much. Ooh, Karen's giving recipes in the chat. Oh, that's for the, is that for the iron cleaner stuff? I think that's what I just saw. Becca, are you making those flying geese a little bigger than cutting them down to the right size? No, Kate, I'm not. I'm making them the same size that the pattern's telling us to do. But that's a great tip, to make them a step bigger and then square them down if you have problems with your flying geese coming out to be the right size. All right, this is the last purple rectangle, which means we are about halfway done making our flying geese. And like I said, that's going to be the hardest part of tonight's live stream. This is what's going to take us the longest, is the flying geese. So I'm going to put another leader and ender under here. We'll sew off onto this. And then I'll grab my snips. We'll snip that off. And then we'll use this lovely tool to cut the chain piecing apart. There we go. Now, what I can do, if I wanted to, I could go through and just fold all these back and press them. I probably don't need to trim that if I don't want to. I'm torn with this. So here's the thing. If this was a bigger flying geese, I would definitely trim the bulk here. And if it was going to go into a quilt that had a lot of seam or a lot of bulk around it, I definitely would want to trim that. But in this case, it's not going to make tons of extra bulk. So I could just fold that over and everything would be fine, especially once it's quilted. It's a little bit of fabric, so I think that's okay. Let me know what you guys would do. Would you just fold and sew it together? Or would you take the time to trim that seam allowance? Love to know what you guys would do in the chat. That is a lot of geese, Jenny says. It is 20 of them. It is 20 of them. Trim. Connie says trim. Jonathan always trims. Susan trims. I've heard people say that they just do this, and every time I make little flying geese like that, I'm like, oh, well, maybe now is the time where I don't have to trim them. I won't trim them. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hate myself if I don't. So I bring out my scissors and I just cut that excess off. Now, when you're trimming your stitch and flips, you don't need to trim exactly at 1/4 of an inch. And these are small enough that my scissors go through it really easily. So I'm just going to use my scissors to trim these off, and I'm going to make some confetti on my table. Kate says, no trim, too much work. See, Kate, your voice goes through my head every time I make these little ones. And then I decide, you know what? We're just going to do it. Law Will Homestead says, Becca, do you have any suggestions on how to modify this pattern into a throw? My grandson watched me make the bat on the moon and he is loving it. So I thought I'd make it for him into a throw. Yeah, you could just make, so the quilt, let's take a look here. Oh, Katie, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. The quilt, when this is all put together, just looking, see what the finished size is. It'll be 31.5 by 32.5, which is pretty square. You could actually make it square if you wanted to, just square it all up to 30 by 30 or whatever the case may be. But you could put this into 4 quadrants with maybe like a fun sashing, horizontal and vertical sashing, and then right in the middle do a fun little star block. And then that would make it throw size. It would probably be square, but it would be throw size. I don't know what the fabric requirements for that would be. I'd look at the pattern and multiply everything by 4. That's what I would do if I were trying to turn it into a throw. Can you hear the scissors through the microphone when I'm cutting? I love the sound of cutting with scissors. For those of you that are probably going to ask what scissors these are Karen K. Buckley scissors. I got them in a sew sampler box, which I have actually just canceled, and I'm so sad about that. With, you guys all know I work for the federal government, so you know the state of those affairs right now. So we have gone into tighten our belt mode so that we can get by until Congress figures out how they're going to pay government employees. So there's that. All right, I'm going to take this now over to my pressing station, and I'm just going to press this little flap up and out because before I put the next square on, I want to make sure that all of these are pressed over because I'm going to sew through just a little bit of that. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat to push this over. Doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to get it so that it's opening up a bit. Really ought to do something, actually, I really ought to do this so you can still see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring my pressing mat in. This is one of the Aliso pressing mats. All of these little silicone pieces allow you to attach the tiles to other tiles. But this way you can see what I'm working on. And I'm not adding any moisture, just doing heat. And I do have my cutting mat underneath this, so I'm not going to leave the iron on the pressing pad for very long because I don't want this to get hot and then warp my cutting mat, which could happen. Jonathan says, do you like those scissors? Some of our customers have raved about her and her scissors. The scissors are nice. They are nice. I do like them. And they're very affordable compared to other brands that are great and expensive. I would recommend. Kate says, you will have to use your time to do nothing but sew and do more YouTube videos. It does sadden me about your... Listen, I can't because I still have to go to work every day. So there's that. I am, in fact, the agency that I work for, everybody is exempt. None of us are furloughed. So we're all going in business as usual, keeping the mission going. I'm just thankful that my husband has a job. We'll have to tighten belts. It'll be fine, but our bills will be paid and everything will be okay. We've been through this before. I feel sad, though, for the folks that are in fresh out of college and haven't had a chance to build up a savings account or might not have family or a spouse to rely on during this. Because if they're paycheck to paycheck, this is going to hurt because it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. And here's one more. Jonathan said Karen K. Buckley actually came into our shop for a mosh. I don't know what that stands for. All Mid-Atlantic Shop Hop, that's what it was. I only learned that after some customers saw her name in the raffle. Oh, cool. Oh. Thank you, Ibby. She says, thank you, Becca. You're welcome. All right, I'm going to do the other side of these flying geese now. It's basically the same thing that I just did, only on the other side. So we're going to come here and I'm going to take another square and I'm going to line it up with the right side. And I'm going to start from the opposite corner and I'm going to come up to the middle where this joins. So I'm going to sew like this, not parallel. I want to go perpendicular. I want to intersect with that. See all the comments in the chat. Thanks, guys. Which size of scissors is best? 4, 5, or 6? I think these are the 3-inch. Yeah, I think these are the 3-inch. Maybe? Maybe it's the 4. I don't know. Whichever size these are, I love them. I don't know how to measure scissors. Is it from the tip to the handle or the tip to where it pivots? I think it's the tip to the handle. If that's the case, then these are the 4-inch. What is Mary saying that is crazy and illegal? I just looked up to see somebody say, Mary, I heard that's crazy and illegal. What are you doing, Mary? Don't be breaking the law. I think you measure from the pivot to the tip. Oh, we're getting political in the chat. I'm just going to sidestep that. I have no opinion. Moving on. Do we do anything special to win a giveaway? Lori, when the giveaway opens, it'll probably be about 9:15 or 9:30. You'll just follow the command to type in. You'll get the command once the giveaway opens, and then it's a raffle. So we just pick a winner based on that. You just have to be here to win. I see you, Mary. I got it. I got the back end message. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. You guys, we bought a couple weeks ago. I guess it's been a couple weeks ago now. Our friends bought tickets to go see Trans-Siberian Orchestra and asked us if we wanted to go too. So Jason splurged and bought tickets for Zoe, Jason, and I to go see Trans-Siberian Orchestra at the end of December, and I am super excited. Jason doesn't do a lot of concerts, so this wasn't his idea of a good time, but he does like Trans-Siberian Orchestra, so I think he'll have fun. Thanks, Donna. I appreciate it. She said, congratulations on 50,000. Thank you. Are you back from your retreat yet? Bum 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 bum. Irish Sail Lady says, I want to thank you, Becca. I started making EPP hexies after I said I didn't want anything to do with hand sewing. Now I can't stop. Right? Right? Just a couple more. Aw. Is that Kimberly? Oh, no, Melody. Sorry, I have a spot. Oh, that's the mouse. I have a spot right in the name. Melody, thank you so much for that tip. I really appreciate that. That'll come in handy. I appreciate that. Not necessary, but definitely appreciated. Yeah, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is great. I'm really excited for that. And my daughter, being the music nut that she is, will love it too, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to sew onto a leader and ender, and then I will cut apart this chain stitching, trim, and press. And guess what? My flying geese will be done, and then we can make our star blocks. Yeah! It's like the Kool-Aid guy. Or maybe snap into a Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah! But the Kool-Aid guy said, oh yeah, like that too, right? And then he ran through the wall. Bum, 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 bum. Mary said she loves TSO as well. Melody says they do a great concert. Cindy says, my daughter took me to TSO a couple years ago. They were amazing. Awesome. Judy loves TSO. Becca, you are looking so wonderful. Can you... I didn't mean to read that one. I'm just going to skip over it. I guess I can't really do that now, can I? Suzanne says, Becca, you are looking so wonderful. Can you tell us how much weight you've lost and how you've done it? I've not lost any weight. Not lost any weight. You can't tell. I really don't know how to answer that question, Suzanne, to be honest with you. So this has been a personal journey I've been taking for a couple of years. I've been quiet because I was sitting here thinking about how do I really respond to that. For those that have been around the channel for a while, you remember a few years ago, I started the new year with doing a weight loss quilt. And I thought it would be great to share that journey. And what I realized out of that is that's a personal journey. By the way, thank you so much for that tip. I think that was Susan that sent that in. Thank you for that. Let me just double check because I want to make sure it's the right person that I'm thinking. Yep, Susan, thank you so much. $5 is a lot. $5 is a lot. Thank you. So anyway, when I did those weekly videos, it was just a lot to keep on top of, and it wasn't a good fit. It wasn't a good fit. And I went for a while before I did anything else. And then a while ago, I decided I wanted to be healthier for me. And a lot of that started with my mental health. I got that in check and it made the weight loss journey a whole lot easier. I've just been focusing on moving my body and upping my protein, lowering my carbs and my sugar, and watching my calorie intake. That's it. As far as how much I've lost, I'll tell you, I'm down. Is that right? I'm right at 70 pounds this week. I'm down 2 pant sizes. I went from a 22 and I'm wearing an 18 now. There you go. All right, so now I have all of these made and we're going to press. Thank you guys. I see all of the comments. I appreciate that. Now we're going to press these so that the flying geese are all open, and we're going to use these as the star legs in our star blocks. Just like that. They're probably not going to be perfect, but I'm not going for perfect here. I'm just going for enjoying the process and sewing along with you. So if they're a little wonky, if I lose my points, if they're not absolutely spot on, that's okay. This isn't going to be a show quilt. This is going to be a quilt that I probably quilt up and, I'll be honest, give away. I really like how the purple and orange are coming together on this. I had a quilt that I did a few years ago from Fat Quarter Shop. It was another one of their Boo quilt mystery quilt-alongs, and I did it as they were dropping the blocks. I think I did it in September. I even bought the fabric that, oh, okay, Alicia, it's yours. Done. I even bought the fabric that Fat Quarter Shop was selling. I think they were selling a kit to go with it. I bought that fabric. I made it. I loved it. It was so cute. I don't do a lot of Halloween, but I liked Halloween in those colors. But I wasn't going to set it out because I don't decorate for Halloween. So I gave it to Ian, who does. And he's actually got it hanging up in his apartment. And I saw it, and that's kind of the inspiration for the color palette now. Alicia says, okay, phew, now I can go get Jake. All right, Mary, it is almost 9:15. At 9:15, why don't you start the first of however many giveaways you're doing? And I will keep going until I get the block all done. And once that block's done, we'll do our last giveaway. And that last giveaway will be for that lovely Fat Quarter bundle. Remember, you guys, if you participate in the raffles that she's going to run in the chat, you do have to be here to win. So get your ticket and then don't leave. All right. I'll bring these in. These are going to be the corners of our quilt blocks. So we're just going to start laying these out. She's going to do 3 mystery giveaways and the Fat Quarter bundle. So there'll be 4 giveaways tonight, 10-minute increments. So Mary's on top of it. We're just going to let her do her thing. All right, so I am going to sew on either side of each of these 5 2.5-inch squares of flying geese unit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And then these, I'll sew the squares to either side of them. When I sew this, I am going to put the flying geese unit on the top so I can see the intersection where the threads are. And I'm going to tighten up my stitch length a little bit. It's a little too big for my liking for the small piecing. I'm going to make sure that as I'm stitching through this, my needle is going either right through or just to the right of that X where those threads are from the flying geese unit. Okay, and now I'm going to sew onto another leader and ender. Good luck, guys, in the giveaway tonight. Okay, now I'm going to put these onto the other side. I'm going to do the same thing with the flying geese on top. Oh, I did want to let you guys know, I forgot to mention this at the top of the live stream. Because of the technical difficulties that I've had with the computer, I have not been able to record block 10 for the 2025 quilt along. I have posted on social media to let everybody know we're going to push that out just 1 week. So the video and the pattern are going to drop on Saturday, October 17th instead of, or 18th, sorry, Saturday, October 18th instead of tomorrow, the 11th. So you're not missing anything. We just need to, I need another week. Give me another week. Now I'm going to sew these purple squares to the left and right side of the remaining flying geese units. Don't forget, for those that haven't gotten your ticket yet, exclamation giveaway in the chat will get you a ticket for a chance to win a mystery prize. We're going to do 3 of those drawings tonight, so there will be 2 more after this. And then at the end, we're going to do a big prize of the berry and pine fabric. We're going to do a fat quarter bundle of that. Berry and pine from Lello Boutique. Yeah, and by the way, there will be different giveaways, so you will have to get a new ticket for each giveaway. Almost done. Keep looking up to see what's going on in the chat, and I just see everybody getting it stuff. Somebody was asking, is there a way to show a tip without it showing in the chat? Not from YouTube, but if you, I think it's still there. You can, there might be a page on my profile, on my website that has something about donations or tips. If you're looking to send something in, you have PayPal. You could just do Becca at sobecca.com for PayPal if that's easier. And then that will come to me. There is no, it's just between you and I. Nobody else in the world sees it. I had an extra purple one. What went wrong? It's like when you're building IKEA furniture and you have the extra parts left over. Why do I have an extra purple square? They all seem to have one. No, they don't. I lied. The first one don't. Great. My bench isn't going to fall apart. There we go. All right, now for this next step, I could take the time to press all of this, but I'm going to be a little lazy and I don't want to do that. These are small enough pieces that I can just finger press them where I want them to go as I'm sewing. So I'm just going to turn them with my fingers and press them. I'm going to try to turn the flying geese in the middle row in towards the center like that. And then I'm going to take 2 of the units that we just made and I'm going to press the fabric out away from the flying geese. We're going to make sure all the points, oh gosh, look how cute that is. We're going to make sure all the points are pointing in towards that fussy cut center. And that's what our star blocks are going to look like. So let me sew this one together so you can see it. I'm not going to pin this either, but I am going to make sure that my seams are nested and I'm going to hold it with my finger as I'm sewing. And then right as I get to that seam intersection where the fabric's lined up, I'm going to line up my next point, hold it, and there we go. Need a Mentos. Oh, cool. Donna posted a picture of a quilt coat in the Facebook group. Awesome. I don't think we're going to get to sew and tell tonight, but I'll take a look at it later. You could text it to me too. Oh, cool. Coral Ebb 1, it looks like. Need to make that font bigger. Coral Herb is our first winner. Congratulations, Coral. Make sure to email Mary at sobecca.com and she will take care of getting your prize out into the mail to you. Think I got to replenish the prize stash, huh, Mary? Are we getting low yet? Good thing I'll see you in a couple of weeks, huh? Every time she comes up, I try to give her a box of things to add to the giveaway pile so that she's always got something stocked up. But it's her job to figure out how much goes in each package and what each package contains. So I give her the stuff. She takes care of packaging it up and sending it out for you. Coral Herb, please chat. Just type something in the chat so Mary knows you're here. You have to be here to win. Bum 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 bum. She does do a great job. Savannah says Mary does a great job at it. She sure does. Looks like Carol claimed her prize and we're on to giveaway number 2. Coral. Sorry, I don't know why I said Carol. Bum bum ba-dum. Bum 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 bum. Welcome to Becca Livestream, where quilting and earworms commingle. What is that from? Why is it stuck in my head? You ever seen those commercials with the hamsters on the wheel and they're just singing songs over and over? That's the inside of my head. Just nonstop. Nonstop soundtrack. Oh, 2001 Space Odyssey. Thank you, Kathy. Literally saw it just as I was looking up, too. That's great. Good timing because the chat's flying right now. All right. All of my star blocks are now pieced. I'm going to give them a good press, and then we're going to put the sashing in between them the way, and that's really easy. This is just going to go in between some of them. So at this point, we're going to get to decide which ones go next to each other. And I think I'm going to follow the layout a bit that the pattern has, where the one row is the one that we have 3 of with the one that we have 2 in the middle. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. But first, let us just press our seams. Press. So we're going to press right here. Hold on. There. Tag in my bra was making my back itch. Oh, Bobby, thank you so much for that tip. Okay. I think, because I don't want to starch the whole block, but I do want these seams to be a bit flatter, so we'll use my Acorn Easy Press Pen because I can. It's mine. It's my fabric. It's my project. I do what I want. And I'll also get my clapper out. That'll help too. Look at that. Oh, so cute. Let's make him stand on his feet, not his head. I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to finger press first. Oh, look at the cute little pumpkin. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to draw a line of starch on each of these 2 seams. I'm not doing all 4 of them, I'm just doing these 2. As you can see, the block got plenty flat just by doing what I did before. Draw my line of starch. I'll put some heat on this seam. I'll leave that there until the starch dries. Do, 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 do. All right, Shells, I see you. Do, 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 do. Mana, mana. Do, 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 do. Chris Ann is saying, what was that pen you were using to lay it flat? It is an Acorn Easy Press pen, but mine is customized from Kristen over at Grunge Plus Grace out of Texas. She just takes an Acorn Easy Press pen and does some fabric and sprinkles like she does with her cups to this. So that's what this is. I think that blue, or I'm sorry, I think that purple and the orange is absolutely breathtaking. Like, it's perfect. If I have to do Halloween, might as well do purple and orange together. I'd rather do purple and orange than black and orange. Two more to press. Shell says, those are rather cute. Don't forget your cutting mat, Becca. Oh, good point. Thank you. Let me just move that out of the way. I think we're done with it for tonight anyway. Oh, good. It wasn't even hot at all. But this is an expensive mat. Rather be safe than sorry. Ooh, I just got a sniff of, like, paint. Like fresh paint. Oh, Sister Marie says, by the way, Becca, thank you for the free breeze bottle recycled tip for starching your fabric. You can use any of those. They're great. You don't have to spend money. I see your comment, Joy. Thank you. Is anybody else worried that the iron being here right in front of the machine off to my right, because I'm right-handed, is just a burn waiting to happen? And you guys, like, this is from when I burned myself in June at Ian's house. I think it's a permanent scar. Josh says, do the Acorn pen things have a brush tip or something? How is the application? So it's like the highlighter nibs. If you buy like the really thick chisel tip highlighters from Sharpie, it's the same nib. The difference is, in order to get the liquid to come out, you have to push the nib in, and then liquid comes out onto that, and it makes the marker tip wet. And then to refill it, which I actually have to do because mine is empty, I can tell because it's starting to make dry lines. You just take the screw off of this end, and then you get a bottle of this stuff. You could use any starch that you want. I still have a ton of this Acorn solution. I bought a gallon of it. It's going to last me forever. And then you just fill up the barrel. Don't overfill it. I usually do. And then I get a few drops that come out. Just like that. Because I filled it too much. I'll just get a tissue and sop that up. Flo Goff is winner number 2. Awesome. Congratulations, Flo. Now there are 2 nibs. If you pull this out, there's one side that is a chisel side and the other side is a round side. I actually like the round side better than the chisel side, but both of them work and they're great. This is what the pen looks like normally. I just have that one that's been spruced up. So there's my last star block. So let's take a look at what these all look like now. Such happy blocks. Now we've got to put sashing in between them. So we're going to make one row that has 3 and one row that has 2. And I think what I'm going to do is for the one row that has 3, I'm going to do 2 little pumpkins with that in the middle. The skeleton, and then down here I'm going to put a pumpkin and a skeleton. And so I just need to add a B, 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 and a B. So I'm going to do to the left in the middle of these 2 and then one in the middle of these. So I'm just going to put these where they're supposed to be. And I'm going to sew everything together. Now, just like I've done before, I'm going to put this in my machine so that the flying geese is on top, so I can pay a little bit attention to where the intersection of my point is. As long as I stay just barely to the right of that, I shouldn't lose my point. But also at the same time, I am not stressing. This is not a quilt that I'm trying to win a blue ribbon with, so I'm not worried about being a little off. It's more about just the enjoyment of making something. Oh, I guess I could have done that row. Yeah, we'll do that next. I'm going to press all of the fabric underneath the sashing because there's a lot of bulk from those star legs. And that'll just help the row sit a little bit flatter. This is our 3rd mystery giveaway. The next one that we do is going to be the big 50,000 subscriber giveaway, and that's going to be that lovely fat quarter bundle of Berry and Pine by Lella Boutique. And for those of you that don't know how beautiful this fabric is, I will show you in just a minute as soon as I get this done. And it looks like we're going to be right on time for doing that 50,000 subscriber giveaway after my sewing for this week is done. I just have 2 more seams to take and I am all set. Okay, I'm going to give just a little bit of starch to this row and get the whole thing really nice and flat because it's all done. There's my first, this is the bottom row. And this is the top row. And this is the top row. How cute. So these are the stars, and this, the bat needs a good start, so we might as well starch him too because I got a couple more minutes until that last giveaway is done. This is the one that we made last week. So these 2 units, or 3 units technically, these units combined, what I did last week and what I did this week is actually the pattern for week number 1 in this 4-week sew along. But we're breaking this down to be a little bit slower so that it takes up all the Fridays in October. So what do you guys think? I love it. I love it. I'm going to put my pins away so I don't step on them because that could happen in here. I got D and I got B. Next week, let's see what the next section of this pattern is going to be so we can get prepared. So this was week 1. Let me go to here. This was week 1. We're all done with that. So I'm just going to mark up here a little check to show that we did that. I'm going to put it underneath. I'll check this page off too. I'll check this page off too. I'll put the check up there. And then we did this one as well. Next week, we're going to make a kitty cat block. So it looks like I'm only going to need 2 fabrics to do the kitty cat. I'm going to have the purple, right? Because that's going to be my background. And then I'll need a print that I want for my cat fabric. And I'm thinking I might just go with a black. That might be fun. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'll probably just go with a solid. So don't forget, if you want to do this with me, the pattern is free and it is linked in the description box down below. How are we doing on those giveaways? I think it's almost time. Like let's go. I got some Fortnite to play. Mary, how much time is left on this giveaway? Yeah, don't forget, Shell just did it. She did exclamation selfie. Everybody should be, you guys can do exclamation selfie to drop a link to your YouTube channel. Few more minutes. Sheesh. 2 minutes left on this giveaway, she said. Oh, yeah, Matt, Shelby. I do. You know what? That's a great idea. She said if you have any of the black left from the background from Mufasa, that would make an excellent print for the cat. I actually do. That's what we'll use. We'll do that. In fact, let me pull it out so that I don't forget. That would be fun. This is what I will use for the cat fabric. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, but I also know that it's going to move really quick, especially when that last giveaway goes. So I'm worried that I'm still going to miss things. While we're waiting, let me show you what the 50,000 giveaway is going to be. I'm going to open the thing. Mentos fresh and full of love. Yes, I am on a Mentos kick. So we're going to go to the overhead camera. I'm going to open the plastic on this is my fat quarter bundle. You're not getting this one. But there is another one that Mary has that we will be giving away tonight. So this is Berry and Pine. It is from Lello Boutique for Moda Fabrics. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 fat quarters in this bundle. No. I don't want to break mine apart to show you all the fabric, but they've got some Christmas sheet music in here, lots of florals because Lello Boutique. They have this really cute scattered Christmas tree toss. This is supposed to be like holly. It's beautiful fabric. And I will probably be using that fabric in our studio session when we come together. For those of you that are taking the class with me in November, I'll be using that fabric for the project. Yay, Glenda. Hey, Mary, that last one, the big giveaway, can we make that just 5 minutes rather than 10, please? Glenda Bennett is the last mystery giveaway winner. As soon as she responds, we'll start the final giveaway. We're going to make that one smaller. We're going to go with 5 minutes instead of 10. This is what's being given away tonight to celebrate hitting 50,000 subscribers. Katie, why are you saying what class? Oh, what class? Now, I thought, I read it in my head like, what class, Becca? Now, what class, Becca? The studio session that I'm teaching in November, you can buy tickets for it on my website. And all the details for the project that we're making will be there as well. Oh, wow, look, there it goes. Pages, pages, pages. I can't wait to see who's going to walk away with the fat quarter bundle. I'm just going to keep it on camera here so you guys know what you are attempting to win. Don't forget, friends, if you have somebody in your home that has a YouTube account, make them log in and get a ticket because it will end up at your house and you can take it from them. Mary, is the bot giving the tickets away? Because I don't see the bot responding. Are we sure that last giveaway is running? I'm waiting for Mary to let me know if the giveaway's running. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Okay, so everybody that, there it goes. It's caught up. So there were pages of giveaway entries being requested. You might need to put in another request. I can't, like, it's literally just constantly scrolling on my end. So no worries, Mary, no worries. She said she forgot to hit the start giveaway after I edited it. No worries, friend. You're good. I, I saw somebody say something about, I'm happy to see you're on your way to 1 million subscribers, or did she mean 100? I don't know, but she said she was happy. So whoever that was, thank you. I saw it for like 2 seconds before the next 5 pages went through. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. And then QuiltBot just went like 15 pages. Jeez, oh Louise. Okay. I don't know what to do to entertain you while you're waiting for tickets. My channel, oh, sorry, never mind. Somebody said my channel is, it's gone. It's gone from me. Oh, I did see somebody said, I don't know, didn't catch the name, but I did catch the comment. I'm becoming their Friday night sewing buddy. I love it. Mary said, most people are opting to enter this one over the other 3 giveaways. Well, can you blame them? This is 100 some, I think it's almost $200 retail value for the Fat Quarter Bundle. I want to say it retails for like 170. I mean, if I was going to win anything tonight, I would want to win this. Shell says, I keep her company while she works. Glad I can do that for you. Exclamation selfie isn't working. I wouldn't do exclamation selfie just yet, guys, because it'll get lost. Do you think QuiltCon will be in Phoenix after this one? No, after this one, it'll be in Atlanta. And then whatever they haven't announced 2027 yet, but 2026 is Atlanta. The bot isn't putting channels. Okay, listen, let's just pass on using exclamation selfie tonight. I will take a look at the bot settings over the weekend, and then next week when we come back together, it should hopefully be working again. Sometimes some of the commands need a little tweaking to make them work. Yes, Shell, your handwritten note made it with your hexies. Thank you for that. Cheryl says, is it even Friday without your live? Josh says, well, I'm just glad to be here, period. Hey, Josh, you're going to be at QuiltCon this year, yeah? Raleigh? We're going to be in Raleigh together? Hey, Sean. Sean won second place in the doll quilt category at the state fair, guys. So make sure, I think we told you that last week, but we're going to say it again because a ribbon's always worth celebrating. You're welcome, Linda. She said, thank you for all you do. Your generosity is appreciated. You're welcome. Can I take a selfie just for fun instead? Sure. I don't know who wrote that, but sure. Yay, Josh is going to be at QuiltCon. I'm so excited to see you again. You give the best hugs. I can't wait to get a Josh hug. How's community hexie quilt going? It is coming along. I did get a lot of hexies, a few hexies done while I was on my work trip last week. I guess I could show you those hexies while we're waiting for this giveaway to close. It's been a minute since I've shown you some of those finished hexies, and I just have my EPP bag right on the other side of the room. So I'm going to pick this up and I'll show you what I've made progress on. I still have several more to do, and of course they'll always be showcased in my vlog at the end of the month. These are the ones that I have finished so far. I still have a lot to do. So first up, I did another 2 stars for my Tula Bloomers quilt, that one and that one. And now all of my stars that I had pre-basted are sewn, so I'm going to have to baste more for that project. So I'm just putting that on hold for right now. And I am now working on these hexies. I'll flip it over and read the name on the back of these if I have it. This one is from Deb Haycock. And it's got that really cute little crow in the middle. Definitely Halloween themed. I love that one. This, and then there wasn't a name on the back of it, but I know I've had that one for a while. I believe this one is from Stephanie Fulton, as is this one, I believe. And then we've got 2 of these with no name on the back. They're the same. This is from Deb Till. This is another one from Stephanie Fulton. This is from Lisa from Mesa, Arizona. This is from Martina from Avon Park, Florida. This is also from Martina from Avon Park, Florida. This is from Lisa out of Mesa, Arizona. This is from, I want to say Marsha Collins, but I might be reading that name wrong. Deb Haycock. Michaelina. And Susan Yearout. There you go. So these are the hexies that I have gotten done over the past couple of weeks, plus the 2 stars. I still have a ton more to do. The hexies have slowed down coming in a little bit, which is good because I need time to catch up a bit. We'll see how many I have after this, but if you haven't sent any in and you, oh, hey, I have one more star basted so I can do. But if you haven't sent in a hexie and you want to, totally fine to still do it. It'll get into the quilt one way or another. So, all right, it looks like Helen Shuk is our grand prize winner, but she hasn't seen her respond just yet. So we're waiting to see if she responds. We want to make sure that she's here because you do have to be here to win the prize. So let's give her a moment. Let's give her a moment to reply. Helen, 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 are you out there? We need you here. Let us know. Cheryl is saying she saw Helen respond. Oh, there she is. I see it. I've never won. How do I do claiming? So you're going to email Mary. Her email address is mary@sobecca.com. Deb is asking, how's my mom's hexie project coming? She's sewing them. I don't know how many she's done, but she is sewing hexies. I'll need to get her to send me some pictures so that I can put it in. Do you think, wait, what was the question? Hold on. Do you think I got a bargain, 100 comic boards for $23? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going for now. And I think it depends on how heavy, how thick they are. But that sounds about normal, I think. All right, guys, that's all I've got for tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you next week in this shirt. I promise it will be washed between now and then while we put together our kitty cat block. Have a great week. Sew something beautiful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.